Are you going through so much pain in your life that no matter how hard it feels like you're trying to get out of it, it's almost like quicksand and it just seems like you just can't get out of it? This was an experience that I had recently that I'm all too familiar with. And now that I have started seeing the other side, I want to share some wisdom with you. My name is Marjorie Edelman. It may be known that I have been married to my best friend for over 11 years. And together we have two beautiful children that, through the darkest and most chaotic parts of life, their love has lit up every corner of it. And I am blown away that I am 669 days into this new phase of my life to where I've come across some of the hardest lessons and have gone through the greatest immense amount of growth, because it was not always that way. 2004 was one of the most challenging years for me. As I was getting back up from losing my mother in January, as the waves of grief had just started slowing down, it was like life just knocked me down again. There was an illness that ran through my family in April, and my little boy was the one that just couldn't quite kick it. And usually he was a bouncy, energetic little boy who was full of jokes, and he would just have a little bit of an attitude, but he was tired and lethargic, and he was going to the restroom a lot, and he was drinking a lot of water, and he was losing weight, and my alarm bells went off. And so when I took him to the doctor, as soon as the doctor said type 1 diabetes, before I could even blink, my life changed in an instant. Hospital visits, doctor's visits, the medical devices on my son's body. I even had to give my son insulin shots so I could save his life because he couldn't make insulin anymore. So every time I would try to process this, it felt like life pulled me in another direction. Between medical alerts, doctor's appointments, chores, and things outside the house would just grab my attention. I just kept stuffing everything inside, and it got to the point to where I was bursting at the seams, and it was getting really, really hard for me just to do the basic things of life. And when I saw my friend in the fall, and she was somebody I went to hair school with back in 2013, and usually we were just a joyous occasion where we're just gathering it up and catching up like we were old girlfriends. And she said to me, she said, when you stepped out of that car, I could tell that pain was just surrounding you. And for the first time, I felt seen. And it was like divine intervention that day. She gave me the name of the therapist who she had been working with, and she actually had a brain that worked pretty similar to mine. And so even though it took me about a month or two to get in touch with her and to get in with her, I finally did. And as I was working with her, the colors got a little bit brighter and the weight off my shoulders got a little bit lighter. And I learned some amazing things that I want to share with you today. I learned that there were generational patterns, possibly from past trauma, that was actually running the show for me, and they were not serving me anymore. I learned that somewhere along the way, I was not allowed to give myself grace, when in fact, I can give myself grace, especially during some of the hardest seasons of my life. And I learned that the strength isn't all about keeping it all together and doing it all. It's actually being able to let go of what doesn't serve you at this time. And that is why I am on a mission to help women help them not only break generational patterns so they can reconnect to their inner child, but also help them reclaim their voice so they can rise again. The question I have for you is this. What is it today that you think needs to be the next step for you to start getting yourself out of the position that you were in? What is one step you can do today to start healing? In the link below, I have a link below for a grief and motherhood journal to where it helps break things into little baby steps, and you could just do a little bit every day, so that way you can start making little strides in your own journey, so that way you can start seeing the light at the other side. If this hit any aha moments or anything like that, please like the video, and I would love to hear your insights in the comments below, where we could all share what we got through, and who knows, we might be able to learn a thing or two from each other. You are doing a great job, and we'll get through this together. You got this.